providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Good morning. That's right. You are indeed listening to Caregiver Crossing. I hope that we're finding you well this lovely Sunday morning. If this is your first time joining us, Caregiver Crossing is a show brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. Thanks for being here. We are here every Sunday. We were created for all family caregivers and the people who love them. My name is Candace Terri, and I am joined by
Terri Stacy.
Mike Lemaich is out.
Lemaich.
I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher it a million more times.
Don't worry.
Spell it out
You're
again.
not the first.
M-Y.
Mike's joining us. He'll be here. He'll jump in for segments 3 and 4, but you may hear his voice throughout the show this morning. Terri, what's been going on with you?
Nothing.
Anything new?
No. What day is this again? Wait a minute. This is September. We're in September.
We are already.
Oh, my. Well, let me think. I can't just count. Are you playing music?
Oh.
She's controlling everything. And I thought we were going to have a little music while I told you about what's happening with me.
I can find some for you.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. September 3rd. Wow. So many things have been happening. We've got the Colts back in action again, right?
Sure.
Mike Lemaich is here. Mike, the Colts are back. Everything's fine.
Everything's good.
You can hear past episodes of the show at caregivercrossingradio.org. And please be sure to follow and like us on Facebook. That's going to be the best place to keep up to date in between shows. And if you want to connect with us to discuss any topics or any resources, or just want to say, hey, you can reach us at 317-254-0828. And you can always email Tina at joycehouse.org. We love hearing from you. Tina is out again this week.
She is.
She'll be back hopefully next week. But if not, we'll just keep chugging along until we see her again. A couple things to keep in mind from some upcoming events here. Joyce House is hosting 2 vaccine clinics on September 18th and 19th, one at the University of Indianapolis House and one at the Broad Ripples House. These clinics are made possible by funding that we've received through USA Aging and will be at no cost to you. You can call me, 317-254-0828, and I'll give you all the details for those clinics. But we will have vaccines for COVID, flu, RSV, and you can also get your shingles vaccine. Have you got your shingles vaccine?
No.
No?
We've talked about the shingles vaccine. I did not. Mike, did you get your shingles vaccine?
I actually haven't yet.
Yeah, it's not ever been one that I've had before, but I had chicken pox. And so if you had the chicken pox, they'd say you should need to have the vaccine.
I remember us talking about
because
that.
it's living inside of you, just waiting to come out.
And I hear it's like really painful.
Yeah, on one side or another. I hear, it's not always all over your body. It's either one side or the other. Is that right?
I don't know. But, I remember I had chicken pox, but I don't remember it being as painful as they say shingles is. So is it like a cousin of chicken pox or is it just the adult version of chicken pox?
I really cannot say that I know anything about that other than my husband has had shingles before and it came back before the shot was even available. The shot is still fairly new, I believe. And so before that, and it was the most painful thing he's ever been through. And he's been through a lot.
Wow.
Pretty bad. I mean, it was pretty bad watching him suffer while these shingles were, he said it was, nothing could touch his skin without it just feeling like he was being electrocuted.
Oh, wow.
That's what he said.
Wow.
Everybody has a different description.
I might be going today.
You need to get your shingles shot today. I do too. It's something I don't know why I don't think about it. You know why? I'll tell you why, I'll betcha.
Why?
Because I always think the perception is, that's for older people. Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I'm there. I got to quit thinking that way because it's time to do those type of things like get the shingles vaccine and pneumonia vaccine and some of those others that we need to have. But flu season, this is when we get our flu shots.
Yep.
So, I'm not up to date yet.
I'm not either. But, that's why we've got the clinic. So plan to stop by. Is that next week? The 18th and 19th? I don't know.
I didn't even remember it was September. So
it's all running together. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So a couple of other things. Joyce House is hosting Teepa Snow, who's an occupational therapist that specializes in cognitive decline, on October 13th at the Shelton Auditorium. I believe tickets will be opening up here in this next few days if they haven't already, but I'll post a link on our Facebook page for sure. And you can also visit joycehouse.org website for more information on that. And finally, make sure that you are nominating the deserving caregiver in your life. We are hosting the Deserving Caregiver Awards through the end of the month. We will choose 4 caregivers and announce the winners in November in celebration of the National Caregivers Month. So that's going to be really fun. You can send the nominations. Please include the name, contact information of the nominee, and also a little short blurb about why you're nominating them. Send that on over to tina@joycehouse.org.
Okay. Coming up, we're going to talk about a little bit about anxiety and how it affects you and what you can do to maybe help the anxiety. But we're also going to continue to talk to Mike. Mike's sticking around for the whole hour. And you're going to talk about estate planning.
Correct. We're gonna go through it.
Yeah, we're going to go through it. And it is something that wills, estate planning, again, it's one of those things you think, well, you can put that off. You can do that a little later on. But you need to do it.
Yeah, now's the time.
While we're thinking about it. So Mike's here and we're going to talk about it. Biggest question you always have for somebody like me that's not even like, I know I got to do it. Let's do it. What's the first step?
Just to get started, right? To know that you have to do it and get the process started for sure, right? You got to kind of put everything in place. Just get that process started and get going.
But I will tell you this, and this is something that maybe as you get older, Candace, because you're very young still, but when you get to be where I am, 60 something, you start to think about when you pass things in your house, like I have a cabinet, like a china cabinet, and I look at all the stuff inside of it. And I think, no children. And I think, what am I going to do with this stuff? Who would want this stuff? So now is probably the time to start clearing that stuff out and realizing what's important to put in a will for a sister or somebody.
Right, whoever you want
an organization.
Correct.
Because there's other places you can go if you don't have kids, right? If you don't have a big family, that stuff can go to... Who would want that? Goodwill?
Well, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Whoever you want to give it to, we want to make sure we direct it that way.
Yeah.
Right?
So what if I leave my china cabinet to an organization that doesn't want it? What happens?
Oh, yeah, but it's in the will.
Then? Yeah, but like it's in the will.
They could sell it, use the funds then for whatever they want to do, with the proceeds from that. They may not want the actual china.
Right.
But they could,
Here's your problem now.
Nobody wants china anymore. Nobody wants your china. Nobody wants your silver. Like in the olden days. Nobody wants that stuff anymore.
It's just so, I have some of my grandmother's old china, and I don't use it. It's just sitting in my cabinet because I'm scared it's going to break. I'm like,
I think there's also that thing where you just feel like grandma's watching or somebody's watching up above and they're thinking, please don't get rid of my china. I gave that to you.
Oh, gosh.
That's what's in my brain. That everybody that's giving me stuff is up there watching to see what I'm going to do with it. Because I don't have any kids.
I'm watching you, Terri.
I know it. Oh, we got to take a break.
We got to take a break.
Go.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing.
Oh, boy.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them.
Hurry.
Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates.
Faster.
And we're here every single Sunday to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit caregivercrossingradio.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support resources in the community, and much more. That website again is caregivercrossingradio.org.
She's a wreck.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after this.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Happy you're here with us today. Terri Stacy, Candace Hadabaugh, Tina is out today, but we have a gentleman here named Mike. His last name is Lemaich.
That is incorrect. Completely incorrect.
Lemaich.
Lemaich. I'm going to write that down.
That's a new one for me, by the
way. He's a very smart man. Global fund management. We're going to talk about estate planning, wills. We're going to talk about that with him in just a little bit. But at the moment, let's talk about anxiety. Is it making you anxious to even talk about it?
Yes, actually it is. And I have to say, I've never been an anxious person. I've always been the chill one in the group, like, oh, we'll figure it out. It's gonna work itself out. But the last couple of years, there's always like this little twinge, like just a little ding ding.
You just, is it worry or is it anxiety?
I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to.
And that's the thing.
I wouldn't be able to say
you
what it is.
worry. Mike, are you a worrier?
Not too much, but I think we've had a lot that's happened in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
With everything that's happened. I
Yeah.
think there's more and more of that around. So I try to contain it.
Yeah, me too. And when I come across a video or a TikTok or something that's doomsday or prepper or this happened in wherever, I try to just keep going past it, because that's just going to add to, one, I can't control it, so there's no reason to even sit here and think about it, and two, it's negative.
Well, I'll tell you, I asked Candace if we could talk about this or find an expert or somebody to talk about anxiety, because as you all know, my father, my mother's caring for my father. My father has had a couple of strokes. And since the last stroke in January, he has had incredible anxiety. And it's probably from the stroke, where it hit in his brain, where he's worries about everything. He's anxious about everything. And we were trying to figure out, and with doctors' help and everybody that's been a part of it, is how to change this, how to keep him calm. Because, there are drugs out there that will do that for you. And drugs are great, but not all drugs work. And some no, and some don't. And that's where we've been finding the trouble, is we can't find anything that will help him, keep him from worrying about everybody and everything and becoming so anxious that he can't sleep at night, those type of things, those type of issues. And I know that some of you that are out there listening, I know you know what I'm talking about with somebody you may be caring for. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe you're caring for somebody and you can't stop worrying now about everything and the anxiety and that you're dealing with. You should know that you're not alone, because in this day and age, I bet you, and I don't have statistics in front of me. Are they in this article?
I'm sure they have. They probably are.
Candace put a big article in front of me and I didn't even look to see if there was a number involved. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say 9 out of 10 people have anxiety.
Of some sort.
Of some sort. Sure. At every turn. And what we may perceive as worrying could be a real thing. What worrying is a real thing, but it could be more on the lines of an anxiety and having an anxiety attack.
Terri, how aware is your dad still?
Oh, very aware.
Okay.
Brain great. Memory fantastic. And I'm sure as we age, that beautiful woman we spoke about last week, that's 101. And, that woman, she probably doesn't have a care in the world. She's 101 years old and she's going great and she's working and she's having a great life and things are good. And, she's doing great. Excuse me, I'm starting to wheeze. I'm wheezing again. I'm going to have to cough here in a moment. So let's talk about this a little bit. What can we do? Candace brought an article. There are 20 best ways to stop overthinking everything.
The one I hear the most about is number one actually on this list, and it's do a reality check. And it's taking a moment and actually thinking the thought that's got me anxious or worried, is it real? Is this actually occurring, or am I just making up a scenario in my head and kind of running with it? I tend to overthink sometimes, and so I know I'm probably guilty of this. So just pausing and asking myself, is this real? Do I need to really be worrying about this, or am I making it up?
Yeah, I think that's a good moment. That is a good moment. Taking time to think productively. I know those are words and that sounds like a good thing, but I don't know that works for, again, you want to, you think, okay, this is one on the list. Let me take some time, and you're going through the anxiety. Let me see if this will work. I don't know. Maybe take time to think productively. If you're an overthinker, it probably doesn't make much sense to take more time to think, but it does if you do it right. It tells us it's a good idea to start by meditating on something positive like scripture or a calming mantra. Maybe that might be something good to just focus on that.
What is that? The prayer, serenity,
the serenity prayer.
Yeah.
God grant me the right.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's always a nice one.
It is a good one, and maybe do that.
One that I'm getting more into, I ran this morning, 2.5 miles. I'm not nonstop. Someone asked me that if I went nonstop. I did not, but it was good to clear my mind and just kind of start the day fresh.
And especially if that anxiety comes at night while you're laying in bed, and people of all ages, doesn't matter if you're the elderly or you're middle age or you're a teenager like I was and would just be thinking about what I'm going to wear to school tomorrow. That is. The more tired you are, the better you're going to just fall right to sleep.
Yep.
Do you, Mike, you?
Yeah, I'm a walker, so
Okay.
I like to do that. That kind of clears my mind.
Yeah.
Gets the exercise.
And
So
you get
that
the
definitely
exercise.
helps.
And it helps
for
you
sure.
to get that exercise and to be a little sleepier at night, maybe.
Mike, do you walk in the morning or the evening?
In the morning. I got to get my exercise
Yeah,
done in the
gotta
morning.
get it done.
Yeah, if I'm going to ride a bike, walk, or whatever I got to do, got to get it done.
Yeah.
Later today, it just won't happen.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah.
A fun one, and we love these folks here at Joyce House, but it's to volunteer. When you're focusing on other people, you're less likely to worry about what you've got or don't got going on in your. Ooh, that was not correct English. We just did this. You have or don't have in your life. Moving on.
It's all right. It's all right. Breathe deeply. Now, I've heard that too. That doesn't always work for me.
No, it doesn't.
Before I go out on stage sometimes for something, if just eat an MC, boy, I'll try that. I'll try that breathing thing to slow my heart down. How I get through it, that first minute, I just do, I laugh at myself. And then I'm calm.
I feel like you're always calm when you've got a mic in front of you or you're on stage.
In front of people.
I don't believe that.
I'm not good at it. And I do need to learn some sort of great breathing technique, because just to breathe deeply doesn't do it. Count your blessings. And this is a good one. This is a good one, to think about all the good things that are in your life, right?
It is.
Right?
100%.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Forgive and forget. Forgive and forget, forgive and forget. Don't keep harboring on it. This wasn't necessarily exactly it, but I did this work with my mom yesterday. Yeah, a couple days ago. She likes to send long text messages all the time, but when she gets on a roll and she's upset about something, she just keeps going and going and going. Okay, Mom. So she's, I want to read this to you. Let me know if this sounds okay. So she got about 2 sentences in, and I was like, you can delete the rest of it. You don't need to keep going. Say what you have to say, move on, and let's not keep harboring on it. But forgive and forget, let the past be in the past. And acknowledge what you can't control.
Yeah. Acknowledge what you can't control. Similar to the serenity prayer. Acknowledge what you can't control. I know it all sounds easy.
It does.
When you're having an anxiety attack, you might, some of this might not work for you. It's hard. It's challenging. But these are just some ideas, some thoughts. Change your self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think you're going to fail, you may, when you just think about it all the time. We've heard that before. Be yourself is number 10. Stop worrying about what others think about you. Who
cares? That's never really been my problem.
That's not my problem.
Yeah. Well, and always.
You know what? I bet it has been our problem at some point. We just don't even remember it. Because, at some point we were normal as far as you do worry. You just do worry. There's very few people that don't worry about what somebody else thinks about them. So we have thought about it at times.
I'm sure we have.
Mike's worried right now about what we're thinking about him.
Mike's like, what is happening?
He's worrying. He's worrying right now. He's thinking, oh, man.
How did I get here?
It's going to get better. Hold on.
Okay. August is National Make a Will Month, and local financial professional Mike Lemaich from Global Fund Management. Lemaich. I'm so sorry, Mike.
No worries.
He's here to share more about the importance of estate planning and how you can get started today. So thanks for joining us. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, the whole hour.
Show.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Of course. Okay. What is an estate plan?
Well, an estate plan is the process of determining who will receive your assets after you pass away or become incapacitated. So the goal is to pass on your assets in the most cost-efficient way. And a will is kind of the cornerstone of that. But that's only part of it. There's other aspects, that we talk about, having a trust and so forth. A living will is very important also.
So if nothing else, we need to have, I would say, a living will and a will.
I totally
Is that
agree.
fair?
Double will.
Totally agree with that. I think everyone should have a will. You don't have to be a multimillionaire to have a will. I think everyone should have a will and a living will. What comes with the healthcare directive, right? Power of attorney, very important. Something happens where you can't make the decisions. You need to have somebody where it's spelled out who's going to make those decisions for you.
Is it a bad idea to do your will online? The online wills that are, it's free.
It's better than nothing. Right. Okay. But I would recommend you sit down with a lawyer and go through the process.
Yeah.
Right?
For the will and for the will and the estate.
Yeah, absolutely. And the healthcare direct attorney to make sure it's set up correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
Mike, I got to tell you, I used to think the word estate meant that I didn't need anything because I don't have an estate. That's what you think, estate in my world was always like a big, like almost like a compound.
Right. You're a multimillionaire.
Right. But it's not the estate is your home, no matter where it is or how much it's worth.
Correct. And you want to have that spelled out where you do want any of the assets that you have, where you want them to go. So that's an important part of the process. But that's why we should get started.
Yes. Okay. So walk us through. We've called you. We're ready to get started. What is the first question that you typically get? Where do we start?
Well, you would want to start take inventory of all your assets. And let me also say this: I'm an investment advisor, not a lawyer. You'd need a lawyer to talk with this. But you want to take all your assets, kind of figure out what you have, where you want them to go, and maybe where you don't want them to go.
Ooh, that's
right?
fair.
So,
that's fair.
You may have someone that you don't want them to receive any part of your estate. So you want to spell that out and spell it out clearly. So first, take inventory of your assets. Then kind of figure out for the healthcare directive and the power of attorney who you want to make those decisions. Usually it's a family member, but it's someone that you can count on, right? Mm-hmm. And someone who can make decisions, right? Specifically healthcare directive. There's some life and death decisions that have to be made. You want someone who's not going to be squeamish, right? Who's able to kind of make a decision. You might have another person who's real good with the finances, right? That they're better for the power of attorney, right? So, and also make sure that this person knows that you've named them, right? So they know that this is going to be some kind of role that they're going to take on. You don't want that to be a surprise. Out of the blue, they're like, guess what?
Yeah.
Do people say no? Do people say no? I don't want to be.
They can. And
so what happens then?
Well, you're going to have to find somebody else to do that. And that's not always a terrible thing for someone to say no, because they probably couldn't handle it, right?
Okay,
they couldn't make those types of decisions.
Maybe even if you're someone from the outside of the family, because that's where I've seen the trouble is when the person says, I want you, the person that's been my friend forever, to be my power of attorney, and then the family, they become offended.
Sure, absolutely, but it's your decision,
right? It's your decision.
It's your decision, and what's best for you. So, someone might get offended, but that's kind of the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
We can't please everyone, I guess. We try.
Yeah,
right.
But no, that's
We're
important.
We're going to stop that, though. We're going to stop trying.
We're going to stop caring about what people think. Less anxiety.
Yeah. Thank you. But there must be mistakes made. Those I'm sure you could help us to understand what are some of the mistakes that are made, especially that we want to avoid them, but mistakes that can be made when it comes to this sort of thing.
So again, we want to make sure this is done legally, right? We don't want to just write this on a piece of paper and kind of put it in a drawer. That's why, again, I think you meet with a lawyer, right? You need 2 witnesses to sign off on this.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
So yeah, that's important, right? And again, you just want to make sure that your wishes are clearly stated in the will. Mm-hmm. And most people want to avoid probate. That's a big issue. That's the court ordered process of how your assets will be distributed, and that's kind of up to the state of Indiana, right? How their formula, how your assets are distributed. So we want to make sure that it's set up correctly. But if we can, we want to avoid probate.
Have you ever? This was a film I just saw not long ago about leaving everything to the dog.
No,
you can leave everything to a pet.
I did see that.
Did you see that? You can leave everything to the pet.
So another film, I Really Care, I think it was, with Charlize Theron.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Oh, you have to see it.
I saw that where they're basically stealing the assets right from the.
Does that actually happen?
It can happen. It can happen. So again, that's why we want to someone who's going to be an executor of your will or a trustee of your trust, right? Someone that you can trust, right? That's not going to just take the assets and use them at will. So
I have so many questions on that, because that was a company that was coming in and taking possession really of this aging person.
They came to take care of them and eventually kind of took all the assets, kind of, And I saw the movie a while ago, but that's essentially what happened.
No, you're on the right track.
Right.
Okay, so we have the will. I have the will. I've passed away. What happens?
So your executor will put that through probate. And again, if we have a will, it'll be clearly stated how things are going to be distributed. But again, we want to avoid probate if possible. It's time consuming. It's costly. How do we avoid probate? Number one, you could create a trust. Not everybody needs a trust, but that automatically makes your assets avoid probate. The most important thing you can do is list beneficiaries for all of your accounts. So IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, checking accounts, saving accounts. Those are more transfer on death and pay on death, but anything with a beneficiary form will automatically bypass probate. It'll go directly to your beneficiaries.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
I didn't know that either.
So very, very important. And let me say this, the beneficiary form is the most important document that you have in your estate. It's often overlooked because let me say this, it doesn't matter what your will says or what your trust says. It only matters what's on that beneficiary form.
What's on the beneficiary form?
Okay. So, if you have in your will that it's going here and the beneficiary form says something else, that's where the money's going. That's where the funds are going.
No way.
Always will go to the beneficiary.
Always to the beneficiary. That supersedes everything.
And is that Is that like a form that we filled out when we opened our savings account type thing?
Absolutely. So
okay.
Did we? Is that something?
Well, you remember all those forms you had to fill out?
I do, kinda. It was a long time ago.
So like in a savings,
yes, there were banks then.
Like a savings account is transfer on death, but you want to name a beneficiary who you want the money to go to, and it automatically again bypasses probate, go directly the funds to them.
Okay, and that's the only way to avoid probate.
Well, you could also create a trust. So a trust.
What's the difference? What is that?
So a will is where your assets are going to go after you die. So you're dead. So
gone.
Here's where the assets go. A trust is essentially the same thing, but it can also be while you're living. And really what a trust does, it creates a beneficiary form for assets that don't have a beneficiary form. Your house, real estate, all your other automobiles and so forth. So that's what you're going to do with a trust.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to stop you right there. We've got to take a quick break. This is an awesome conversation. Mike, thanks. You're going to stick around, right?
Sure, I'm here.
All right. We'll be right back with more Mike and more Caregiver Crossing right after this. Forget about it.
No, you're doing fine. Forget to hit the clock.
Welcome back. We are in the final segment of Caregiver Crossing for the week. Thank you for sticking around. And thank you to Mike Lemaich. I'm going to get that before we're done here. Thanks, Mike, for letting us butcher your name and not holding it against us.
It's a good guy from Global Fund Management. And if you are just joining us, August is National Make a Will Month. And Candace was good enough to find Mike for us. She can't say his last name, but that's okay. She knows who he is. And we've both been taking notes about trusts and beneficiaries and estate planning or estate planning, basically, wills. And thank you for helping us to understand this. He's talking to us like we're first graders, which is what we need to understand this. Because this isn't a topic we're unfamiliar with. Year after year, we talk about this. And Candace and I both kind of scratch our heads and think, yeah, we'll learn about it another day. Today, we're really learning something. Thank you, Mike.
Sure.
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go next? We've talked about trusts and beneficiary. What do you want to talk about in that next step?
Well, maybe we could talk about maybe who should have a will and maybe who should have a trust. Right?
Absolutely.
So, not everybody should have a trust. I think, as we said earlier, I think everybody should have a will, right? And a living will, healthcare directive.
Yes, everyone should have a living will.
Right?
Okay.
But people who should have a will, you can put this together very quickly. It's very cost effective. Okay, so that's something that you could do. If you don't have any kind of plan, that's a great place to start. Put that in place. One thing to keep in mind with a will, though, that's a public document, and everybody can kind of see your will if it goes through probate, so people can see that. So it's just something to keep in mind.
What are you saying? Like, don't put. What are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. It's just
like,
if you don't want anybody to know where your assets are going, or someone didn't get this or that, right? They can read that. So a trust is a private document. So that's something that no one can see. It's kind of in the family.
Okay.
But someone who needs a trust, you have several real estate properties, several homes, maybe buildings, so forth. I think you definitely need a trust, right, to make sure all those bypass probate. If you just have a home, there's kind of a big change in Indiana. You can just do a transfer on deed on death, so you don't have to actually create a trust for your, like say, your single home if you don't want to. That really just creates a beneficiary form for your house.
Transfer deed on death.
Transfer of deed on death.
Okay.
And that's kind of a new, what happened that was changed in the legislature, where before the only option you had to get your house through probate was to create a trust. So that's another avenue for that.
So let's say I've created a trust. I'm still living though.
Okay.
Can I now access the trust to pay for my living expenses?
You can.
Oh, what a great question.
Because a living trust, it actually was a great question.
I think so.
A living trust is still it's you, right? It still kind of goes through your tax return and so forth. So you're still in control of the assets. An irrevocable trust is where you really take them out of the estate, and the assets truly aren't yours, essentially, because you're taking them out of the estate. It's irrevocable. For 99% of the people, we just need a living trust. That works perfectly. If you have very high assets and you're worried about estate taxes, you might use a living trust. You're worried about getting sued. I know what everybody's probably worried about getting sued, but you want them to take the assets out of the estate with an irrevocable trust.
Okay.
Some of the shows I've seen, again, these are all not true shows that I see on Lifetime. But you're on your deathbed and all of a sudden you are mad at everybody that you put into your will. You're on your deathbed, can you change it? And the minute you sign it, it becomes legal.
Well, as long as you're determined to have a clear mind, right? Nothing, no dementia, right? Everything's there, and you have someone there legally to witness this and witness it all. Yeah, you can.
As soon as your signature goes on and the witness has signed it, it's legal.
It's legal.
It doesn't have to go back to an attorney's office somewhere.
Well, it would probably be an attorney that you would have to be there, but you can do this.
Right.
You can do this and have you can disclaim everybody.
Yeah. It's the way it works on TV.
So, Mike, what happens if my memory is in question and I haven't put these things in order yet?
So that really creates some issues.
Okay.
Right. That's, again, why we need a power of attorney is so critical. Just myself, I became a power of attorney. My father was the power of attorney for his mother, my grandmother. Unfortunately, my father got diagnosed with terminal illness, and I became the power of attorney for my grandmother, out of the blue, But thank goodness she had that in place, because she is dementia, extended stays in a nursing home, and so forth. So it was very valuable that she had all that set up and in place for her, because what they will do is they will set someone up for you if you're determined that you can't take care of yourself. This is where you want someone in your family to take care of that. That's why it's so important to truly have that set up.
Yeah.
I think the living will, we need the will, but the living will might be is as important or more important, right?
So if they set it up, it's not necessarily going to be a family member?
It doesn't have to be a family member.
Okay.
Yes, if you have not had anything set up, it can be who they appoint. Yes.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother avenue that I don't think you want to go, you don't want to go down.
You don't want that.
Really good lesson.
It really is.
Is there anything else you need to know? Because your questions are good.
Oh, thank you. Let me think. If you've got a question, I'm sure I've got another one back
No,
there
I think
around.
I think people would like to know how to get a hold of you, for one.
Sure. I mean, you can. We're right in Carmel. We're at 114th Street. 116th and Pennsylvania Street is where we are. So we're right there. Our 800 number is 800-279-4912. And our website is www.GFM, which stands for Global Fund Management. So it's gfmsafemoney.com.
Safemoney.com. Okay.
And 800-279-4912?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And I had a question. Oh, how much do I need to have in my account to be able to well, I don't need anything in my account for a will.
No.
Okay.
Except for the cost of what you need to set one up.
But
that's
there's
correct.
no minimum income or minimum savings to be able to set.
Yeah,
set
absolutely not. So you can, for as little as assets you have, but again, I think everybody needs a will. Get the healthcare directive and a power of attorney set up in case at the end you can't take care of yourself and someone needs to make decisions for you. That's the most important part of that.
If you don't, and you don't have a will, and you don't have family, it's just you. What happens to all your stuff?
Well, it'll go through probate, and then again, probate will determine. Like state of Indiana has a formula. They'll look see if you have any parents, brothers and sisters, relatives, and so forth. Then they just kind of go down the line to where the assets will go to.
Okay.
And again, that's why if you don't want your brother to get anything, you want your sister to get everything. You put that into that. You want to.
I just figured there was a big warehouse somewhere where our stuff went. And
There might be.
Eventually be a big there might be a big sale.
All right, folks. That's a show for the week. Thank you for sticking around with us throughout this show. It's been fun having you. Thank you, Mike, for sticking around with us as well.
Thank you very much.
Catch us next Sunday right here on Caregiver Crossing.